Most people move through the world experiencing maybe 20% of what's actually happening. You're picking up 80%, every subtle cue, every unspoken dynamic, every hidden layer beneath the surface conversation. And here's the part nobody talks about. This isn't a superpower. It's exhausting. Because while everyone else is having a simple conversation, you're processing 15 different data streams simultaneously, and you can't turn it off. This is hyper-awareness. And if you have it, you've probably spent your entire life wondering why everything feels so intense for you when it seems effortless for everyone else. Your brain didn't choose this. It was trained. For some people, this sensitivity was always there. Science calls them highly sensitive persons. Their nervous system came wired to process everything in ultra-high resolution, born with the filter turned off. But for others, hyper-awareness is an inheritance of survival. While other kids were playing, your nervous system was running as a radar station. You weren't memorizing multiplication tables. You were decoding the sound of a car pulling into the driveway to figure out if your father was coming home drunk or sober. You learned to measure your mother's anger by how hard she slammed the kitchen cabinet. You knew exactly when to step into the living room and smile, and when to disappear quietly into your room. Your amygdala, your brain's danger alarm, was constantly activated. It recorded a message. This environment isn't safe. Keep scanning to avoid disaster. Nobody taught you this. Your nervous system built it automatically. A network of neurons designed to predict emotional catastrophes before they happened. You learned to survive by seeing the invisible. And over time, that survival vigilance transformed into identity. The shield that once protected you fused into your skin. Now you're an adult, and you can't take it off. So, what's actually happening now? Your brain has what psychologists call heightened perceptual sensitivity. You're not imagining things. You're not paranoid. Your nervous system genuinely processes more environmental information than average. Research from the University of California shows that approximately 15 to 20% of the population has sensory processing sensitivity. Your brain doesn't filter stimuli the same way others do. Most people's brains automatically delete irrelevant information, background noise, minor social cues, subtle changes. Their nervous system decides, not important, and filters it out before conscious awareness. Your brain doesn't filter like that. Everything comes through. The hum of the lights, the person shifting uncomfortably 3 seats away, the slight edge in someone's voice. You're not trying to notice these things. Your nervous system is hardwired to process them, and that changes everything. Here's where it gets painful. In every social interaction, you're reading layers nobody else sees. Someone says, "I'm fine." Everyone else moves on. But you heard the micropause. You saw the tension. You know they're lying, but you can't say it because then you sound invasive, like you're reading too much into things. So you're stuck, watching a performance everyone else thinks is reality. Psychology research shows that high perceptual awareness without permission to act on it creates significant psychological distress. You're carrying information you can't use. Your brain isn't just processing present information. It's running constant predictions. This is your default mode network. Your brain's self-check system running in overdrive, constantly analyzing every thought and action you take. In most people, it activates during daydreaming or rest. In you, it never turns off. You're running social predictions constantly, reading the room, adjusting your behavior, managing everyone's comfort, not because you're manipulative, but because your brain can't help but see the patterns and calculate the outcomes. Research shows that constant social prediction consumes massive mental resources. While others are relaxing in conversation, you're working. Someone's about to get angry. You feel it 30 seconds before they do. The meeting's about to go badly. You sense it before anyone speaks. A relationship is deteriorating. You know months before the breakup. Your nervous system picks up patterns before they become obvious, like seeing storm clouds before the rain starts. And this is where it starts affecting your life, because you're reacting to things that haven't happened yet. People think you're anxious, but you're not anxious. You're accurately perceiving what's building. The anxiety is a rational response to data they're not processing. Studies on predictive processing show that hyper-aware individuals aren't catastrophizing. They're detecting actual signals others miss. The problem is you're living in a slightly different timeline than everyone else. You don't just notice emotions, you absorb them. Someone's anxious across the room. You feel it in your body. A friend is sad. Their sadness becomes yours. This is what neuroscientists call affective empathy. Your nervous system literally mirrors others' emotional states. And here's the biological reality. This is your insular cortex, the part of your brain that senses internal signals, running at 200% capacity. Mirror neurons in your brain fire when you observe others experiencing emotions. But in hyper-aware people, this system is oversensitive. You're not just understanding their emotions, you're experiencing them. You've felt this. Spent time with someone and left drained. Had conversations where you took on their stress without meaning to. Research shows people with high sensory sensitivity are more susceptible to emotional contagion. You're like emotional sponges. And there's no protective barrier. Bright lights feel aggressive. Loud spaces are overwhelming. Multiple conversations happening simultaneously feel like chaos. You're not being dramatic. Your sensory processing system is genuinely overloaded. Here's what nobody sees. You're tired all the time. Not physically, neurologically. Your brain is processing more data, running more predictions, absorbing more emotions, managing more stimuli than the average person. Every day, all day. While others recharge from normal rest, you need complete sensory shutdown. Dark rooms, silence. No people, no stimulation. Not because you're antisocial, but because your nervous system is recovering from processing overload. Research on sensory processing and fatigue shows hyper-aware individuals require significantly more downtime to maintain baseline function. What looks like introversion is actually nervous system regulation. So, what you can actually do? You can't turn off the awareness. That's like asking someone with perfect vision to see blurry. The solution isn't to become less aware. It's to stop carrying everything. Here's what actually helps. 1. The 5-second filter. Just because you noticed it doesn't mean you have to own it. Someone's in a bad mood? You can notice without absorbing. A coworker seems upset? You can observe without becoming their emotional regulator. Notice. Name it. Let it stay theirs. 2. The signal translator. When your heart starts racing or your chest feels tight, don't call it anxiety. Call it what it is. Data. Your nervous system detected something. That's it. It's not a warning. It's not a problem. It's just your brain doing what it was trained to do. You can acknowledge the signal without making it mean something catastrophic. 3. The sensory reset. You already know this works. Dark rooms, silence, solitude. This isn't antisocial behavior. This is nervous system maintenance. Schedule it like you'd schedule charging your phone. Non-negotiable downtime where nothing comes in. The shift happens when you move from trying to control what you see to choosing what you carry. You'll still notice everything, but you can decide what deserves your energy. Your awareness doesn't disappear. It softens. It matures. You still see deeply into human nature, but you no longer feel responsible for fixing it. You can still feel the energy of a room, but you're no longer pulled into its current. If you recognized yourself in the constant noticing, the childhood hypervigilance, the social prediction, the early detection, the emotional absorption, the sensory overload, and the exhaustion nobody understands, you're not broken. You're hyper-aware, and that's a specific neurological configuration that comes with both extraordinary perception and extraordinary cost. I'll be sharing more videos like this on psychology and self-understanding. Subscribe if this content resonates with you.